Hello and welcome back to the Shed Geek Podcast. Here's a message from our studio sponsor. Let's be real. Running a shed business today isn't just about building great sheds. The industry is changing fast. We're all feeling the squeeze, competing for fewer buyers while expectations keep climbing. And yet, I hear from many of you that you are still juggling spreadsheets, clunky software, or disconnected systems. You're spending more time managing chaos than actually growing your business. That's why I want to talk to you about our studio sponsor, ShedPro. If you're not already using them, I really think you should check them out. ShedPro combines your 3D configurator, point of sale, RTO contracts, inventory, deliveries, and dealer tools all in one platform. They even integrate cleanly into our Shed Geek marketing solutions. From website lead to final delivery, you can quote, contract, collect payment, and schedule delivery in one clean workflow. No more double entries, no more back and forth chaos. Quoting is faster, orders are cleaner. And instead of chasing down paperwork, you're actually running your business. And if you mention Shed Geek, you'll get 25% off all setup fees. Check it out at shedpro.co/ShedGeek. Thank you, ShedPro, for being our studio sponsor, and honestly, for building something that helps the industry.
Welcome back to another Shed Geek podcast here on a sunny day in Metropolis, Illinois. I'm your host, Cord Cook, and today I'm joined by Jacob Broussard. I'm so happy to have him on. Before we get rolling, just a couple of things so you know how to stay plugged in with us. First and foremost, the Shed Geek call-in line, a.k.a. Shannon's cell phone. That is 618-309-3648. Give him a call, shoot him a text, get in touch if you need anything from Shed Geek. Our email is info@shedgeek.com. Our contact form on the www.shedgeek.com website. Of course, if you want a little bit more formal way to reach out, that is a good one. And then stay connected with us on our Facebook page. Along with the private pages, the Shed Sales Professionals, all of the other private pages that service the industry. We just have such good conversation and really continue to try and help each other to grow the industry and to better ourselves and our businesses. So with all of that said, today I am joined by Jacob Broussard, the SEO wizard, website design. I know you do some Google ads. Jacob, introduce yourself. Tell us about you, and tell us about those potions.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jacob Broussard. I'm located in Frisco, Texas. Born and raised in Texas, I should say. A web design and SEO. I would like to say expert, but stay humble here. But I love what I do, and I'm excited to be here today and get to share a little bit more about my process and how I may be able to help your business.
Great. Well, we are happy to have you, Jacob. You and I have known each other for, I guess, several months now. We kind of started collaborating back last fall. As I think most of the listeners know, Shed Geek has really been on a sojourn, a journey to go and find the absolute best operators within the industry. We want to make sure that we are providing all of the best information and recommendation whenever it comes to some of these services, because we know that they can be confusing, right? A lot of these are very tech heavy, integration heavy. How is the data moving? How are you using the data to continue to better your business? So we got in touch actually through Edwin Miller, SC Yard Solutions. We love Edwin. He put us in touch and really kind of explored your business model, the results that you're getting, the way that you structure it. And I just think it makes sense for every business, but particularly for the shed industry, an industry that is commonly so conservative and really is slow to adopt some of the technology forward practices. But the truth is, Jacob, at this point, some of these things, and SEO is one of them, or just Google rankings in general, how you show up in search, how you get in front of the customer. These things are moving so fast now. You really just, you have to adopt them where they are and then keep up with them, because the worst thing is to wait too long and then kind of be behind the curve, and now you're aiming at a target that's already moved. So I guess maybe give us a little bit, how did you wind up in this kind of tech space, the SEO space, and tell us a little bit about that and kind of what your approach is.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so I haven't always been in the tech space. I was more so in several different sales-oriented roles in my younger years. And then most recently, right before getting into tech, I was a car salesman. And man, I definitely don't miss the hours working working at the dealership. So just for having a passion of not wanting to be in that role of being at the car dealership 14 hours a day, and 10 years or 11 years when I'm 40, I started to take some courses online, and I'm all self-taught. And so initially it was software development, that was the goal. And then eventually, once I got familiar with Python, which is more of a software-oriented language, definitely. Don't get me wrong, you can use it to some extent with websites, but primarily it's going to be software-oriented. I eventually just ended up making my way to some web design material, and then from there, it just kind of spread like fire in terms of my enjoyment for it. And then with web design, if you want a website that converts, at least, comes SEO. That's one of the, or I would argue, the most important factor. You can have a beautiful website, but if it doesn't show up in Google search results, then the only people on the site are going to be people that you've told about the site or that already know.
Right.
So with that, I really just dove deep with SEO and got a couple clients, and from there, it just took off, and I haven't really looked back. But so something that makes my my SEO something
Unique.
that is
Yeah.
yeah, thank you. Something that makes my SEO process unique is going to be the pricing. So I don't charge you anything up front. It's all going to be performance-based pricing. So you don't get charged anything until you show up at specific predetermined ranks on Google search results for keywords that are relevant to your industry. So they're going to be keywords that are high volume and that we decide together before contracting, and well before any money is handed over. So that's really worked well for me and for clients as well, of course. I can't tell you how many times I've heard from, whether it's a client, potential client, or just somebody that I'm talking to about business, that they've been burned by an SEO agency, or just some guy that did their said that he would do their SEO. Just time and time again, I hear about businesses getting charged thousands up front and then not showing up in Google search results at all. So that's seemed to really would just work well for clients and of course myself. And I enjoy getting to see clients' excitement and relief once we finally rank and they haven't had to pay anything up until that point. So it's pretty satisfying. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly that's part of the big reason. I mean, obviously the quality of work you have to take to get the results, and move up the rankings and get websites and map packs. You and I have talked about that. The results have to be there, but one of the things that really drew myself and Shannon whenever we were kind of conducting a search for really good operators around the country, to you, Jacob, was the fact of that structure, right? Because the fact of the matter is, you're betting on yourself, right? You said you were a self-taught self-taught SEO. I think that's just about the definition of a prodigy. I don't think Mozart ever took a piano lesson either, so
Yeah.
I personally like that. I think that people who dig in and get dirty and learn for themselves, and one of the some of the problems with SEO in particular, because I think it is for a lot of people, even people in the industry like myself, right? I've never went on the back end and kind of done the actual keyword, the technical SEO, the on-site, the off-site. I've never been the implementer of those services, right? So even for people in the industry, the marketing industry itself, there's a little bit of um, a disconnect between what that actual work looks like, how you show the work, how you guarantee the work, and frankly, the fact that just right up front, one of our first conversations when we had reached out to you at the behest of Edwin, who was getting really good results from you, um, was exactly that. It was starting from square one. It is the customer pays when they get the result, right? And that's so refreshing, not just in SEO or sheds, but really in the world um today, and so that is certainly what drew us to you in the first place. And here we'll go through a proposal and even talk about some of the results that you've gotten here in just a few minutes. I'll let you demo and really show everybody what you've got going. But I also think it's just interesting how much of the industry grows out of that initial sales role, right? Because
Yeah.
whenever you're in sales and you're seeing the kind of leads that are coming in, the volume of leads that are coming in, you're trying to make your living off of how many leads and how good are they, right? Sales just winds up creating this stew inside of people, that gets them into the side of it that says, "Gosh, you're telling me I couldn't get three times as many leads and sell three times as many cars?" And so how do you feel like your sales experience like really wound up pushing you? Because I've just heard this story over and over, particularly in sheds, it seems like.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, no, you make a great point. I would say having this sales experience, and having that drive that you really need to at least be a car salesman, has been instrumental with when it came to, at the very least, learning SEO, because, kind of like you said, there's a ton that goes into the back end, as well as, people hear keywords, and definitely that's a huge part of it, but there's a lot more technical aspects. So I would say, and just the self-education aspect, having that sales drive has really made a huge difference. But then on top of that, you know being on the other side of it, working leads and just constantly doing what I could to get a sale, ethically, staying within ethics or ethical, positive ethical traits and whatnot, has, yeah, it's actually been probably one of the biggest driving factors of where I'm at today, in just helping businesses grow their leads. And yeah, yeah,
Well, that's awesome. That is awesome. It breeds something inside of you, you
yeah,
know,
oh yeah,
sales and that sort of struggle and every day, the term, you eat what you kill, type of mentality,
yeah,
that um, constant education, constant training, right? The discipline that it takes to
yeah,
just do all those things. Those are things that we talk about on the sales side, but when you get good at it, it blossoms inside of you into all these other things, all the other aspects that you can go, um, to really improve the processes, and not just be at the mercy of, whatever lead form got turned in, last night, while whatever's in your inbox or in the CRM,
right,
when you get to work in the morning or whatever. So, well, I want to give you plenty of time, Jacob, man. So, I mean, I think we've kind of laid it out there. The
yeah,
bottom line is, the a unique self-taught approach where you personally are the one digging in. I think it's great. We've recommended you. We've actually had a couple proposals already, so I know what these things look like, and I've kind of seen this. But if you don't mind to share your screen, I think it would be awesome, just to get a little bit of a demo for anyone watching, and we'll do our best for all of you listening to describe, what these proposals and what the actual results look like. And then if you don't mind, after the demo, and for anyone listening, we will then kind of talk about some of the results themselves as we get to the end. So there's your little teaser to keep on listening till the end of the podcast. So Jacob, if you've got pulled up what you want everybody to see and hear about, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, definitely. Well, so I'm gonna pull up the keyword data first. So this is heavily annotated, so forgive me, but this is straight from Google. So this is gonna be keyword analytics, essentially. For the sake of this, I'm showing the keyword data that I was doing for a bodybuilding coach. And so on the left-hand side here, so this is actually two different images cropped together. This black bar going down the middle is where that other image was cropped in. But so both here where my cursor is and on this side as well is going to be the keywords that we were looking at and considering. And then one column over, we have the average monthly volume. Okay. And so because there's so many different minor variations in the keywords, the best way to go about it from my point of view and just from what I've seen is going to be targeting a more broad keyword up front when it comes to finding a keyword that because so typically I'll always contract clients on either one or a set of keywords. And
I've seen that you do the kind of, I've seen when we get to the proposal, just because I've seen them before, you can, so, we're looking at, bodybuilding coach, natural bodybuilding coach, right? So we're looking at these sort of variations of what that sort of bodybuilding, and this must be a kind of a high end guy if it's more bodybuilding than just sort of getting in shape or weightlifting or whatever else. So this must be a kind of high end coach client. That's awesome. But I guess what I'm saying is, so maybe just to connect the dots for those listening, this would be similar to sheds near me, sheds, Paducah, Kentucky, woodshed near me, right? It's where do you want to rank for each of the keywords that ultimately are natural drivers and have good acquisition rates, and that that whenever someone is searching for that, they are looking for you, right? And then what is the volume? Because ultimately, if you want to go after a keyword, it needs to be a keyword that's worth going after, right? So maybe I'm just adding a little context here, Jacob. You're the maestro. I'm just trying to get it back down to the level where maybe everybody's tracking with us.
Digital Shed Builder is an online shed configurator that strives to provide incredible visual quality, fantastic customer service, and an amazingly low price point, making it a perfect fit for any shed dealer looking to increase their online sales. Digital Shed Builder is simple to use, taking less than 5 minutes to integrate on your site. The Get a Quote feature streamlines your sales process, showing you exactly what your potential customers need. They offer a highly customizable experience that accurately represents your brand and unique shed offerings, working with you directly to set up everything you need in a configurator. With no extra startup cost, no lengthy contracts or commitments, and no hidden fees, Digital Shed Builder has been created with quality, simplicity, and affordability in mind.
Hey Shed Geek listeners, I'm Joe Ignis, owner of Velocity 360. At Velocity, we know the frustration of spending thousands on ads with no visibility on what's actually converting. Most leads simply get lost or never called. Ask yourself, does your team respond to every lead within 60 seconds? If they're unresponsive, do they follow up at least 14 times? The reality is your team should be closing, not chasing. They don't have enough time to follow up like they should. All that manual follow-up is exhausting, and it distracts from your hottest leads. Problem solved. Velocity 360 is a white glove, turnkey, shed-specific CRM solution for your sales team. We increase your lead response rate to over 60% without any extra effort from your staff. They just need to pick up the phone and start the conversation once the lead responds. We give you total visibility. You'll see your conversion rates, average sales price, and exactly which ads generate the most revenue and more. No more flying blind. We speak Shed. It's all we do. With 100% American-based support, we build the system for you. We don't just show you how it works. We build it how you want it to work. Stop leaving revenue on the table. Call us at 865-672-8175 or visit velocity360crm.com/sheds to book your call today.
So I would say another way to think about it for people that are listening would be where you have, people searching for sheds, just plain old sheds. And then also you have someone looking up shed builder or barns for sale. Those are all going to have different volume, and more than likely sheds in of itself is going to have the highest volume.
Right.
So it typically makes the most sense to go after the more broad keyword because naturally you'll begin to rank just inherently for similar keywords as long as let me take a step back. Once you're top ranked for a broad keyword, you'll typically be ranked as well and pretty highly ranked for a bunch of different smaller variations.
Right. Which you almost need to gain traction on the primary driver to then have the natural traction then on what we would think of as like more niche keywords, because that's one of the strategies that you and I have even talked about is once you have that traction, then if you know that you are in a particular niche, or even if you know that, hey, we just build the best, pick the style, right? We build the best studio. We're told that we build the best studio. So we want to make sure that once we're ranking for sheds, we also want to then kind of go attack that studio style, of shed or portable building to make sure that we're there. Am I regurgitating at what you're saying to me? Am I saying that right, Jacob?
No, you are. Thank you. I appreciate that. No, you definitely are. And then for those that can at least see, there's all the annotation, the stars and the circles, those are going to be marking those variable terms or those variable keywords that that this business can expect to inherently rank for. And so typically the contract keyword is going to be responsible. Well, so for example, this keyword marked in blue, you would think naturally, and that may not be the best way to describe it since the keyword is natural bodybuilding coaches. No pun intended.
Just by pure chance. It has the word natural in it, right?
Yeah, no pun intended. Most, even I initially, when I saw this, when I saw natural bodybuilding coaches having such high volume compared, and then you have, of course, bodybuilding coach as another keyword with even higher volume, I had to actually do a search for myself to see, okay, if I search natural bodybuilding coaches, does the same website or same business come up that does when I search just bodybuilding coach? And the answer was no. You would think because they're so close that it would bring up the same business on both searches, but it didn't end up doing so. And then so that is one of the reasons that, for this business, I'm recommending targeting that, is because Google does see them slightly different. Of course, they're still under the same industry, but so for example, the website that came up with bodybuilding coach did come up under natural bodybuilding coaches search results, but much, much lower on the page. So despite there being some similarities, it's not considered the exact same. And so at times, so I guess to parallel this into the shed world, I would say probably this,
It would
barn
represent,
type of shed, right? Go ahead.
it would almost represent that slightly more, like, probably a slightly more niche, but also a more what could be thought of as a more luxury experience, right? Like if you're specifically looking for natural bodybuilding coach, you would think that because that is, I mean, we can speculate on what an unnatural, non-natural bodybuilding coach might recommend or whatever, but I would think that just the fact, I would guess that the people who are marketing themselves as that natural bodybuilding coach probably also can naturally, again, no pun intended, can naturally, demand or can demand a slightly higher price, right? It's a little bit of a niche, right? And so you're marketing yourself a little differently. And so, but to your point, right, this would be, I think that's what you're kind of getting to, right? It is similar to what we were saying, which is, are you selling that shed, as a backyard storage solution? Are you selling it as a she shed, an office, a cabana, right?
Yeah.
Like how much more niched down by use case are you getting in each of those kind of terms? And more importantly, how does that fit with your strategy, right? Because if you're niching down into a product category, it should be because you make a better margin on it.
Yeah.
Like if you make more money just selling unniched down products, then just keep doing that. But if it meets your strategy to go sell a higher margin product or seek out that one step higher spending customer, then that stuff makes sense, right? Am am I hitting the nail here?
Oh yeah, you are definitely. No, you said it perfectly. I would say that's a great comparison. So, but yeah, I'll just jump into the pricing structure that I showed to this business, and so on the proposal, I'm always going to talk a little bit about how it works, and discuss the pricing structure, just kind of like how we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it goes on to say on the proposal that you only pay when your site reaches specific ranks within Google search results. You can select one keyword or all of the suggested keywords to begin with. Now, I'm always going to provide a benefit, of course, of contracting on all of the suggested keywords, and that I'll get into that benefit here in just a moment. I'm scrolling down on the proposal for just anyone that's listening. So typically, I do a six tier payment structure that can vary plus or minus one. It doesn't mean you're going to pay more money than someone would in another industry, but it just depending on the volume, and then also what I hear when talking with the client initially before even sending over or creating a proposal. If it sounds like it's a smaller business that is a little bit lower volume, I guess that would be a good example of when I might break down the total price into 7 payments instead of 6,
Right.
for example. Or if it's a very, very high volume business that already has a good existing customer base,
Right.
it has routine monthly revenue coming in, I might just structure it into 5 payments. That way it's a little bit less of a potential headache, for that
Billing really trying to tailor what that billing and payment structure is to just what the business circumstances are. No, I think I didn't even realize that was kind of an extra little layer of customization that you do, but I mean, I think that's really smart, and it matches up with with what people, what their expectations of that value are, right? How can they manage to make this work? And so I think that's another little good wrinkle that you throw in there, Jacob.
Thank you. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, I try to accommodate any clients the best I can. Typically, with every single client that I've had to date, I feel like we're not only clients, they're not only my client at this point, but we're typically close friends by the time we get just a few months into working together. So,
Right.
But to touch back on the benefit you get of contracting on all of the keywords suggested, it's just going to be a discounted price. So for example, and I should say that typically there's no set amount of keywords that I try to stay within suggesting when I send a client a proposal. So if it makes sense for their business to target 8 keywords, then I'll suggest 8 keywords. Right. It's just the nature of the beast. If it makes sense just to target 1 or 2 keywords, then I'll suggest 1 or 2. So,
well, these are the kind of exactly the type of decisions that need like really strong strategy behind them. I think one of the things that the shed industry does specifically is most people lay out pages for each of their shed styles, which is a good thing, right? I mean, that's a good thing. You want people to be able to land on what they're looking for, but at the same time, you have to be realistic about what gets them to land in the first place, right? You don't need to rank for 16 different shed styles. You need to rank for the 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 shed styles or pages or just the generic sheds term that actually gets you to the page and then is able to convert that customer either into the style that they want, or even better, if they just go straight into a 3D builder or another tool that is known to have the highest rate of acquisition. So now we're back to website design, but these are the things that you have to think about, as you're considering what is it that I actually want to rank for. So maybe just scroll up just a little bit there, Jacob, because we were kind of talking about those terms. So we can see here that you've kind of laid out proposed keywords. You have the natural bodybuilding coaches that we talked about, that one that's a little more niche down. You have bodybuilding coach, which is the higher volume, but I mean, now we're right back to how are we connecting the dots, right? Much lower volume, but also, you would think that service, because it is more niche, you're getting into a more specialty service. So maybe if that's, I don't know what business specifically this is that your proposal is here for, but if they are specialists in that, then that's why you've put it here, right here within these proposed keywords. Is that kind of the thought process there?
Yeah, no, you hit that spot on. Yeah.
So if we keep going here, maybe
I'll keep going down. So for this business and the 3 keywords suggested, the business owner is looking at a 10% discount on the one-time milestone payments. And actually, I should double back for a moment. There is, once you get to rank 5, there's a monthly maintenance cost or investment that's going to that will contract on for 12 months. So one neat thing
which is effectively first page. Rank 5 is effectively the ranking that guarantees you to be on the first page of the Google results. So you're saying that you basically pay the milestone because you got to rank 5, obviously. And then with that comes some amount of maintenance, because you're then having to keep up that monthly SEO to keep you there. But the point that I like is that you only pay when you hit whatever that rank is, right? And then you only pay the recurring whenever you're actually holding that top 5 and up. I just think that's such a smart way to structure it, and basically guarantees the result for the customer.
No, thank you. Yeah, I mean that's the way that I know I already mentioned this, but to see the smiles that I get from clients, once we get to just different ranks, and how thrilled they are. It's such a rewarding aspect of it. But yeah. So because of the constant moving nature of SEO, I can get you to rank 5, I can get you to rank 1, but the moment that we stop the moment that we lay off the SEO and that John down the road starts to improve his and continues to improve his,
Right.
Google will see the inactivity on our end of things, and it will push the more relevant. And once John gets pretty optimal and there's no activity on our end, he potentially can get pushed up, past us, in which only one person can be a rank 1, and so it will in return drop our rank. So there
Yeah,
is
it's like
a monthly.
swimming in a wave pool, right? I mean,
Exactly.
yes, you
Yeah.
can you can be ahead of all your buddies. You can be the fastest swimmer, but if you get out there and you're whatever 10 strokes ahead and you just start paddling and looking back and whatever, those waves start to push you
I
back,
like
right?
that.
That next wave of changes, that next wave of, what does Google want today? Right?
Right.
It starts to push you back. And before you know it, the ones who kept swimming, now they're the ones, passing you up.
I like that analogy. Yeah, no, that's actually a really good analogy. I'm gonna have to use that. No, yeah, definitely don't want to stop swimming. So, and because of that, that's why we have that monthly investment. And so one cool thing about that too is it's tiered. So it starts 30 days after we get you to rank 5. So on the front page of Google, you'll see the top 9 ranked companies. And so once you're at the top 5, you're not only on the front page, but you're, that much better off because there's still 4 businesses underneath you. So you're going to be in that top 5 results. And so, one thing that clients love is we do not only a tiered structure for the one-time milestone payments, but we also do it for the monthly maintenance as well. And so to kind of dive a little bit deeper into that, I'm just going to scroll down here. And so the total price of the one-time milestone payments accumulates to $5,100 after they've gotten to rank 1. So rank 15 is going to be that first payment. It's just $200. You're not going to see much of a difference, to be totally transparent. You're not going to see much of a difference at rank 15,
Right.
but because of the pricing structure, we like for our clients to have some skin in the game at that point because
Yeah.
the
You're
effort.
swimming. You're
Yeah.
swimming, right? Like you have been swimming. Like, have you got to the front of the pack yet? No. But a $200 investment just to sort of get on basically second page Google ranking.
Yeah.
You've been putting the work in, you've hit a milestone. Here's the number. I think for a lot of people in the industry, a lot of those listening, they are already going to be in that somewhere in the neighborhood. Most people have adopted, websites and Google business profiles and all the things that get you, to continue to rank up. So, I think for a lot of folks, it's going to be moving from, number 5 to number 2, or from number 4 to number 1, in the shed industry specifically. Although in the big cities, there is a lot of competition around. I know you're down in Texas. There's a lot of competition for everything in Texas. A
Oh,
lot of good business down there.
yeah.
But for a lot of our listeners, it would really be kind of getting them those very top tier results. Because just like you and I were talking about before we actually started recording here, it's a step change. It's almost an exponential change in the difference between getting into those initial, top 10, top 8, top 6, right? It's just a step change in the total volume when you are really in that top 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah.
The amount of volume of traffic available to those highest ranking is not a difference of 20%, it's a difference of, 600%, in what that volume can realistically be. And so anyway, keep going here. I don't mean to keep cutting you off. I'm just trying to add that context in, so that everybody kind of, I get the value and I'm excited about it because I've been on the other side where you don't get guaranteed results, but kind of explaining that sort of that thought process as we go here.
No, you're fine. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support.
Running a business means balancing constant daily demands with the pressure to keep growing. The workload, the decisions, the responsibility. It never stops. Newfound Solutions is here to take some of that off your plate, giving you the tools and support to move forward with confidence. Have you always wanted to start your own rent-to-own company but don't quite know where to start? RTO Partners is here to help. Overwhelmed by all the moving pieces in running your own rent-to-own program? RTO Smart is a software that encompasses everything you need on one platform. Or leave the rent-to-own up to us and focus on what's more important to you. Newfound Rentals has you covered with traditional rent-to-own options for your customers. Shed Connect understands the complexity of the digital marketplace. We take the hassle out of online sales. Newfound Solutions, 4 powerful sub-brands, helping you succeed across every aspect of your business. Visit newfoundsolutions.com today and let us do the balancing so you don't have to.
Unlock the power of productivity with Cardinal Leasing. Are you looking to elevate your business operations with top-tier equipment? Look no further than Cardinal Leasing. We offer a wide range of reliable and high-quality equipment tailored to meet your unique needs. Flexible leasing options. Whether you need short-term rentals or long-term solutions, our customizable leasing plans are designed to provide maximum flexibility and affordability. Conventional financing available. Cardinal Leasing also offers great conventional finance options for those of you that prefer that over-lease purchase options. Expert support. Our team of experienced professionals is here to guide you every step of the way, ensuring a seamless leasing experience. Boost efficiency. With our top-of-the-line equipment, you can enhance productivity, reduce downtime, and achieve your business goals faster. Why choose Cardinal Leasing? Competitive rates, exceptional customer service, hassle-free process, quick and easy approvals. Don't let outdated equipment hold you back. Partner with Cardinal Leasing today and take your business to the next level. Contact us now. Visit our website at equipment.cardinalleasing.us or call us at 618-803-4086 to get started.
No, so I just to continue on what you were touching on is, and don't quote me on this number on these numbers, but if I'm not mistaken, and I can actually pull the report up here in just a moment, I believe the bottom, so the rank 6 to rank 9, just those 3 ranks combined are only, I want to say 3 to 5% of what people are clicking on when they are searching anything. The top 4 or top 5 share, or the top 4 collectively, I think are around 76% of what people are. All right, it might even be the top 3. That's around 76% of what people are clicking on, and then rank.
And the more that they keep packing, the more that there's local service ads and map packs, right, and standard Google display network. Like, the more that you keep packing the top, what happens, especially on mobile, is you get to a point where you have to then make another click. And I know that shouldn't bother people, and we should say, well, our customers, if they want a shed, they'll make another click. Well, we're being a little naive. If you have to click on see more, the amount of you're just going to hit back, or you're going to scroll back up, and you're going to choose one of them that is in that top group, right? So everything, all these little nuances psychologically matter, and just set your company up to have, like you're saying, the difference in 3% of lead volume versus 76% is literally a, what is that, a
Let me go back.
2,000% difference in just the amount of volume that's even available to you.
Yeah, that's what that's about right. Yeah. And so this is the 2026. A second ago, I was trying to pull up, once I realized this is 2026, because it says that these are the projected, I was going to go and pull 2025, but they're about the same, give or take 0.5% maybe. But yeah, the like you said, it is an exponential difference in the top two, top three results compared
for those not viewing, for those of you not on YouTube, those listening, we're basically looking at the number one organic result, the projections for how much volume that number one result will eat up in the Google rankings is 39.8%. So 40% of all volume is going to go to rank one, and then you had what, 20%?
Yeah,
volume
18% for rank two.
And then about 6.5 or so for rank three, right? So we're making the point here, and I know we've made the point. Gerald Rhodes, is so good. Creative Backyards, Gerald Rhodes up there is so good about really explaining how important reviews and your Google business profile, and he does a great job of just really putting that in plain English for everybody to understand, and then talks about how that has impacted his business. But this goes hand in hand, right? The Google business profile and reviews are one category of where you're at on that page, but then that pure volume of who is going to get that traffic is just so top heavy. You almost have to really truly consider investing in that. And I can't think of a better investment than one like what you're doing, where the investment only kicks in whenever you actually hit those rankings. So anyway, keep moving here.
Okay. Yeah. And so, and here's that full chart for the top 10 positions. So, I mean, as you can see at search, so when you're at rank 6, you're only getting about roughly 4%, a little over 4% of clicks. And just when you're at, rank 1, you're getting 39, almost 40%, 39.8%. So at search position 2 or rank 2, you're getting just under 19%, rank 3, 10%, for rank 4, 7.2%, rank 5, 5%. So, I mean, it really is an exponential difference just being in those top few ranks.
Mm-hmm.
But to circle back over here to the proposal, just to finish, breaking this down. So rank 15 is that first payment, and these can vary slightly, in regards to the specific rank that will set the payment due at. But we try to keep it pretty universal, just to make things a little smoother. But if there's, I kind of mentioned earlier, if we need to break it down into 7 different milestones, the first payment's going to be at rank 20, but in this case we have just 6 payments. So, and they continue to increase the closer we get to rank 1.
Sure.
So we'll just walk these through. Rank 12, it's a $500 one-time payment. Rank 8 is going to be an $800 payment. Rank 5 is $1,000. Rank 3 is going to be $1,200, and the rank 1 is $1,400. And then in regards to the monthly maintenance that we were talking about earlier, even though it starts 30 days after reaching rank 5, it is also tiered as well. Because why should somebody have to pay a higher amount to be, if we have you at rank 5, you shouldn't have to pay the same amount that, if there was an identical situation, identical business and industry, there's no reason that you should have to pay what somebody at rank 1 is paying.
Yeah.
Just for us to hold you at rank 5, right? So that's why
you're paying. You're paying for the maintenance that gets you the traffic, that gets you the opportunities. The thing to me here Jacob, is really the fact that you have, so on this little breakdown, and we've talked about it and kind of scrolled it, but here's the takeaway: your total milestone price. So to get to rank number one, your total milestone price, you know it up front for this particular structure that we're looking at. Again, this is bodybuilding, right? This, but same idea all around. Your total milestone price is right here in front of you. It's going to cost you $5,100 to get to rank number one. And when you get there, once you're there, it will cost $450 a month to stay there. But again, you're talking about 40% of all the people in your search area who want to, to explore buying a service are going to come to you. That's the Google projection. That's how it all breaks down in the psychology of how people, search through Google results. And so I think the thing to impress here, at least what I would say to all of the listeners out there and the customers, that I've had in the past and customers that I have currently, is, a $450 a month maintenance fee would be a cheap fee for most SEO agencies, that you're just paying them to work, and you don't have any guarantee. You don't know when or where or how those results are going to come to you. You don't know what kind of work is going on, because SEO work is very, hazy and opaque, and it's hard to explain exactly some of the technical sides of it. But you're putting it right up front. Look, it's going to cost you $5,100 total to get you to rank number one. And once you're there, I'll keep you there for $450 a month, because it's going to be some work to keep paddling out there in front of everybody and stay right up there next to the old push board that keeps making those waves or whatever. Right.
Right.
But at the end of the day, all those things are they're outcome based, they're performance based, and you know what you're getting into, and there's no surprises, and you don't pay until you hit those different milestones. So I think that's the thing to hammer home. And we've probably been in the weeds quite a bit, Jacob, but if you don't mind to something that you shared with me a couple of days ago, and in fact, you shared it with me, and I immediately said, you're coming on the podcast to talk about this. Is that you created a dummy website, effectively, shedsinnashville.com, a website that is not going to sell it. Well, I mean, you could sell the leads for sure, but a website that is not going to sell a shed, that is not backed by a specific shed company. It's just a site that you propped up 36 days ago.
Yeah.
And tell me about, like, what your skills, the skill set that you have. In 36 days, you were able to get a website that has absolutely no intention of selling a shed up to what? Tell me about it, Jacob.
Yeah, definitely. Here, I'll pull it up on the screen too in the meantime. So I mean, I kind of like what I said, I have worked with a shed builder here in Texas. It's been a great experience, and we're sitting across 9 cities. We're sitting between rank 1 and rank 2, and I can pull some of those. I can pull some of those up here in just a moment. But I was telling Cord the other day, I'm a big believer in repeatable results, and so even just to see it for myself, it's just that much more reaffirming. So I figured, let me create just a dummy site, and let's see if we can get another website ranked in the shed industry. And why not pick a relatively known to be difficult city, just for any industry, just because of the growth
competition, right?
Yeah, because of the competition. And so picked Nashville. And so here on my screen, and I'll go to a new page and just do sheds in Nashville. And if you can see here, this is going to be it right here at rank 4. Now, don't get me wrong, the exact match in the domain and the keyword can make a little bit of a difference. So
sure, but you wouldn't got the domain.
right. And just to show that it's not just that keyword, for Sheds Nashville, we're sitting at, it's not as great as rank rank
What is
4.
that? Rank 10, rank 9? Where are you at?
So around rank 15 or so.
Okay,
This is on
15.
page 2. But I mean, in 36 days, and I should add, there's two major components of SEO. And so one of those is going to be on-site, which has everything to do with your website, and not to get too into the weeds, but just there's a lot of different factors within your website that can either make or break your ranking, just as much as if you have no citations or no other websites linking to your website.
Right.
Google sees that and doesn't trust you, right? So that's called offsite SEO, and that's, I would say, just as much as a factor as on-site SEO. And so, you know, I've been going back and forth from saying I and we. I have somebody I'm training right now, and so forgive me. But so we focus on both, right? And so we put just as much effort into getting your website optimized and perfectly structured as we do when it comes to getting you backlinks and citations and other websites posting articles and whatnot about you, because that's going to make a huge difference. And so I bring this all up right now just because this site that we got ranked in Nashville is solely on-site SEO. This is without any backlinks whatsoever. And normally you're going to see it's going to be about, I would weight it at about 50% on-site and 50% off-site as what it takes to rank a website. And so we're missing half the ingredients to the pudding right now. So
I'll tell you what, I would hate to be, I know you quit scrolling there, but I would hate to be the legitimate shed businesses that are trying to sell sheds in Nashville that are now under this rank right here, right? Because I mean, you know, the bottom line is those opportunities. You have a website, you have the ability to go bring those opportunities in. You've invested in it, right? And just a little bit of elbow grease and domain domain hunting, right? And finding a URL that's available, has just in less than 2 months, less than 6 weeks, has you've been surpassed by Jacob here and Sheds in Nashville that has zero plans of selling a shed in Nashville, right? So I think this just this really drives the point home to me, Jacob, is these things are achievable. They are achievable at an affordable rate. They're achievable whether you are a dealer, whether you are a manufacturer, whether you are a a manufacturer who has 30 locations and owns them all, or a manufacturer who has one location and you sell right from the manufacturing plant. The point is, like, these rankings, these things are achievable and they can be done for a known quantity. It does not have to be money that goes out the door every month that you do not understand or know what you are getting for it. This can be a known quantity. You can build a business model around it, and you can grow it to the point that Jacob, just in the few months that we've known each other, is now hiring up and training more help, because this business model works and business owners are happy with it. So, I applaud you for it, Jacob. We've kind of run up against time here. We're trying to keep it nice and crisp on Fridays so that everybody can listen within their commute to and from work, and not have to cut into their weekends with Shed Geek listening. But I thank you so much for being with us. Reach out to us here at Shed Geek. We would love to put you in contact with Jacob. I think that whether or not you wind up having services through Jacob or not, just his knowledge, his approach, and understanding what is it worth to go and get 40% or 20% of the leads in my territory for my selected keywords. What is that worth? Right? That's something that you should be understanding as compared to any other pricing. that you get on any other services. Because if Jacob can put a number on it for you, that tells you what a volume of leads is worth in your area, right? So this is valuable information, even just from a strategic and informational perspective. So Jacob, tell us, give us a little outro here. Obviously, I'm a fan of you, so I'm always going to advocate, for you. I think you're doing a great job. But sing your own praises just a little bit. I know you're a humble guy, but you're doing great things. So tell us about it to close this out here.
Yeah. Well, hey, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. I've never been a big public speaker, so hopefully I haven't seemed too nervous today. But no, I mean, if you want your business to grow and you want to increase your volume, I will definitely stand beside you and help you do so. And at total transparency, you're going to know every single thing that you're going to have to pay for, the amount up front. There's never going to be a time where you're going to get down the road and have a text from me or an email from me saying, hey, where's this payment? And that's just never going to happen. I've heard, nightmare stories of stuff like that. So that's why I mention it. But no, I'm always going to take care of any clients or just anybody in general, even if you decide not to go with our services. I'm just happy to help and happy to discuss any data that's out there or any data that might be relevant to your business. And if it makes sense for you, and it makes sense for me, if it makes sense for you, it makes sense for us. So just give us a call, and we'll be happy to go over everything with you and take care of you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jacob. Just as a reminder, 618-309-3648. That is our number here at ShedGeek. Info at shedgeek.com. Shoot us an email or fill out the contact form on shedgeek.com, and we would be happy to set that up and make this introduction and get to know not just a guy who's killing it, who's doing great work, who's being really fair to people, but just a good guy also, and somebody that even in just a few months I'm lucky enough to call a friend. So I appreciate you, Jacob.
Likewise. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Thanks again, ShedPro, for being the ShedGeek's studio sponsor. If you need any more information about ShedPro or about ShedGeek, just reach out. You can reach us by email at info@shedgeek.com or just go to our website, www.shedgeek.com, and submit a form with your information, and we'll be in contact right away. Thank you again for listening, as always, to today's episode of the ShedGeek podcast. Thank you and have a blessed day.